Assalamu alaikum 7th graders. Now we are going to complete chapter 13 Ratio and Proportion part 3. At the end of this video, students will be able to perform calculations of percentages and use the calculation of percentages in problems. Before we start our lesson, please prepare your textbook, your copybook, and a pen. Now, what is the meaning of percent? By definition, a percent is a rate per 100. It's a special ratio that compares number to 100. The total is 100. So, for example, to complete this table, each percent can be written as a form of a ratio or a decimal. 25% is equal to 25 over 100. And by dividing 25 by 100, we get 0.25. In this ratio, the denominator is 100, so we can transform this ratio to a percent, that is 12.5%. And as a decimal by dividing 12.5 by 100, so we get 0.125. Now please pause the video and complete this table. 47% is equal to 47 over 100 is equal to 0.47, and the ratio 6 over 100 is equal to 6% is equal also 0.06. Now stay with me to know how to find a percent in problem solving. For example, in a class, there are 40 students, 25% of them are girls. How many girls are in this class? In this problem, we have a percent. Whenever we have a percent, we move to a ratio, which is a number over 100. So we have 25 over 100 because we have 25%. This is the first ratio. In order to find the number of girls in this class, we have to form a proportion. And to find the next ratio, we look to the first ratio, 25 in part and 100 in whole. How many students we have in the whole class? We have 40 students. So 40 must be in the denominator because 100 is in the denominator. What do you have to find? You have to find the number of girls in this class, which is 25%. It must face to the part. Do we know the number of the girls? No. So let X be the number of girls in this class. So the proportion becomes X over 40 equal 25 over 100. Using the law of proportion, we get X equal 40 times 25 over 100, then X equal 10. Thus, there are 10 girls in this class. Please pause the video and solve this application. In a city, there are 5,400 people. 35.5% of them are odd in age. How many odd people are in this city? From the given, since we have a percentage, we move to a ratio, which is 35.5 over 100. So it's the first ratio. In order to find the number of odd people in this city, we have to form a proportion. To find the next ratio, look to the first ratio, where 35.5 is the part and 100 is the whole. How many people do we have in this city? We have 5,400 people. So 5,400 must be in the denominator because 100 is the denominator. What do you have to find? We have to find the number of odd people, which is 35.5%. It must face to the part. Do we know the number of odd people? No. So let X be the number of odd people. So the proportion becomes x over 5,400 equals 35.5 over 100. Using the law of proportion, we get x equal 1,917. Thus, there are 1,917 odd people in this city. Now in applications 1 and 2, we have to find the whole. So please pause the video and solve them. In application 1, Maha spends 15% of her income on clothing. If she spends 180,000 Lebanese lira a month on her clothing, how much does she earn? From the given, we have a percentage, which is 15%. So we move to a ratio, which is 15 over 100. This is the first ratio. To find Maha's total income, we have to form a proportion, which has an unknown. So let x be the total income. To find the second ratio, since 180,000 is 15% of the income, so 180,000 must be in the numerator because 15 is in the numerator. And since we have to find the total income and the total income is represented by 180%, so x must be face to 100. So the proportion becomes 15 over 100 equal 180,000 over x. Using the law of proportion, we get x equal 1,200,000 Lebanese lira. Thus, Maha earns 1,200,000 Lebanese lira. In application 2, a box contains balls. 12 of them are red. The red balls represent 5% of the balls. What is the total number of balls in this box? From the given, we have a percentage, which is 5%. So we move to a ratio, which is 5 over 100. This is the first ratio. To find the number of balls of this box, we have to form a proportion which has an unknown. So let x be the total number of balls of this box. To find the next ratio, use the first ratio where 5 is the part and 100 is the whole. Since 5% of the balls are red, which are 12, so 12 must be in the numerator because 5 is in the numerator. Since the total number of balls is represented by 100%, so x must in face of 100. So we get the proportion 5 over 100 equal 12 over x. Using the law of proportion, we get x equal 240 balls. Thus, there are 240 balls in this box. Now review page 150 part 4 from the textbook and solve the exercises 31, 33 and 34, page 157, all from the textbook. In this video, we have learned that a ratio is represented by a fraction a over b, and a proportion is an equality of ratios. For the proportion a over b equals c over d, by the law of proportion is equivalent to a times d equal b times c, where a and d are the extremes and b and c are the means, and a percent is a rate per 100. A percent equal a over 100. Thanks for your attention.